Dr. Bell, good morning and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Now, as I understand it, this 5-day summit is looking at just how that $43 billion national broadband network can be used in business, health, education and the home. In broad terms, do you see any purpose or any value for creating this network?
Oh, my God. That's one of the worst aggressive statements I've heard. Of course,
this is something that meant to be an aggressive statement. It's just a question.
Okay. The question as it's framed is, do I see? No, this is an essential infrastructure that needs to be put in place. And in fact, I admire Australia for moving ahead to build such a network. I think it's essential for the country to do that. And any idea that I was criticizing the issue, the only thing I'm critical of is it's important to get started with the next level. Namely, I'm assuming that the fiber is being laid and that will be in place. A number of us have put important infrastructures for computing in place for creating the services, and now it's a matter of entrepreneurs and others to come and basically to exploit this infrastructure. Think of it that you've just laid a new set of new streets and highways there, and we've got cars, and now we need to put businesses along these pathways. So I'm very much suggesting that we just get on with it and do it. My criticism is at this next level that in fact all of these the gains are going to come from health, education, actually better water resource control, putting environmental sensors or putting sensors along the highways for better traffic control. All of those applications can now come can come as long with this infrastructure.
All right. So those applications that you'd like to see there, and of course absolutely have to be there for the whole thing to make sense and work. Is that an area that you believe government needs to be in? That they need to be involved in somehow building or fostering the applications that will be based on it?
Well, I think, in a sense, I think government is involved to some degree because, in fact, NICTA, the university-based research, CSIRO, of which I'm on their advisory committee, various universities, entrepreneurs, those are all groups or people that will create these new applications. Certainly, the health industry has to embrace that, and in a sense, health has to kind of move into the 21st century with respect to dealing with computing and information and how to control or how to allow information to be stored and transmitted and shared, and yet have the everyone's privacy protected and security of the records maintained. So it's really now I think with the NBN going ahead, with a fiber being laid, this is critical for the various areas to essentially to get with the plan and go ahead and start working in these areas
so this is
where the gains will happen.
Sure. So this is, in a sense, almost a sort of a rev up from you or a call to arms, if you like, from you and others about those who might be associated in those industries connected with this to get off their butts and to get on with developing the applications that we need, rather than just the focus on the hardware itself, on the laying of the cable.
Right. The cable is, I'll say the cable is not irrelevant because we're putting in this wonderful pipe, and that's the basis of all that thing. And Australia cannot falter in putting this, giving this ubiquitous service to everybody.
All right. Well, look, I'm just going to jump in there because you see that actually has been the centre and the source of a very big quarrel here in Australia about whether the government has any business in even laying this cable. It should be the business of private enterprise, not the government.
Okay. Well, in those same terms, then undo my water pipes, undo my electricity, undo my the streets. Privatize the streets that go by there. So I go out and I take my car and I have to buy a ticket to drive down the streets. This
yes,
is
I'm taking your point.
This is a infrastructure of the 21st century, and Australia has got to recognize this is an important and bold plan, and they've got to get on with the rest of it. Stop talking about in fact, let me argue that, in fact, the biggest change here that's going to take place is the fact that, of the two cables that come into my home, one is Foxtel and the other is Telstra or the telephone cable. Both of those get replaced by a really good cable. And by the way, the first thing I'll do is cancel Foxtel because I won't need that. So I can see the argument to me is all basically a conspiracy on Foxtel's part to avoid this cable being laid because, in fact, it competes or rather eliminates the need for a Foxtel because there's no reason to have to aggregate a bunch of TV channels into a bundle and have to pay for that. So Gordon Bell, you see a bit of if not a bit, a lot of vested interest here in some of the arguments that are being made against it. This is terrible. I mean, yeah, because here you have a massive monopoly operating, frankly, against what I think is the public good. I mean, this is an issue of infrastructure and public good. Think of it as water. Think of it as streets. Think of it as the train station. Think of it as a sewer system. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's rip out that too, and or privatize it or make that a monopoly.
All right. Let me ask you.
No, I'm very strong on this point.
I hear you. Microsoft as a corporation then would surely be terribly interested in developing the applications that say the health sector or the education sector might need to usefully deploy this new network. Yes?
Oh, yes. And, in fact, we're very aggressive in the work in the healthcare area. We have two efforts, one that works at the hospital and practitioner level, and then one called Health Vault that is, in fact, for personal health records that, in fact, can be rolled out or would be rolled out in Australia or can be rolled out in Australia. And those are important. We think that will be those are important services that, that frankly, those can be rolled out at any time.
Sure.
They don't totally depend on I'll say the ubiquity and the speed that NBN affords. But I think let me get one other point about let's say Microsoft, Google, Amazon, IBM. We all have very large server farms, and what those afford is that allows any entrepreneur to come in and basically with a credit card set up any kind of service they want to with zero capital equipment. So I'd say the big from computing standpoint, the big thing that the computer industry or computing industry is offering right now is we have finally eliminated the need for capital equipment. So I couldn't have said that a year ago and said that it's there, but I now clearly see what frankly, as a computer guy, I think of this as a computer issue, not a communications infrastructure. But from a computing standpoint, what we now offer is basically the elimination of the need for capital when an entrepreneur or a business wants to start and be really present on the network. So this is unique.
I'm going to have to jump in there just because our time is really tight this morning, but just very quickly and finally, I just wanted to ask you, and I can't let you go, someone like yourself working in the computer industry and I guess receiving all the benefit and wisdom of telephony with a surname like Bell, there's no relationship, is there, to Alexander Graham?
Oh, I wish I could say that, but not that I know of. I haven't been interested enough to go back and find out.
You'll have to use that Google search engine a little more thoroughly, I think, there, and see what you can find out.
Yeah, right. It's actually a Bing search.
Good to talk to you this morning. Really interesting. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.